Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how the enemy tries to throw us off by getting us to focus on ourselves and our emotions. The reasons that he does this is to try to get us in a state of anxiety and toiling so that we feel an unease and a restlessness in our spirits, and this makes it more difficult to hear the voice of God. And by getting us to focus on ourselves and to be stuck in our own negative emotions, we can't notice those around us that God might be highlighting to us or pointing out to us to go and speak to them or, be a blessing to them. We can't do this because we are so hyper-focused on our own self and our own negative emotions that we are unable to see those around us. Another reason why he does this is to try to hinder our productivity and our progression by staying and fixating on ourselves and our own negative emotions, not being able to come out of anxiety, not being able to come out of depression. It's a way that he can hinder us from making any progress in life. It's a way for him to just block our creativity and blocking us from being able to move forward and anticipate good as well. It will stop us from anticipating the good that God has for us in that day ahead. He does that to try and get us to focus, be self-focused, be stuck in the moment, not be able to anticipate what's ahead of us. If we can't anticipate what's ahead of us, how can we be able to make progress into our future and into the next parts of our lives? I'm going to be sharing with you some examples of how the enemy comes and attacks me. And it doesn't matter how long you've been walking with God for. He will always try this. Doesn't matter if you're an early believer, doesn't matter if you've been a believer in Jesus for many, many years. He will never want us to progress in the things of God. He doesn't want us to hear God. He doesn't want us to do anything for God. He doesn't want us in the will of God. So I will give you an example. He will search out your weaknesses. Perhaps you might be struggling with symptoms in your body. Perhaps you might be struggling with depression every now and then. It could be anxiety. And so he will actually play on that, and he will start to get you to focus on symptoms in your body. For example, he'll bait you with anger and try to get you to stay in that emotional state for as long as possible. So then by the time that's over, your day has been less productive. You haven't made any plans for your future. You haven't been able to hear the voice of God clearly. And that's what he wants. So how can we deal with this? How can we address these attacks that come against us as believers whilst we are trying to walk this out with God and progress further spiritually with God and do what he's asking us to do? I'm going to share some tips with you and some strategies that I personally use for myself, and hopefully these will help you also. This is a skill to be acquired, so just know that if you don't master this straight away, just know that it has taken me quite a long time to be able to do this for myself. So tip number 1, when you notice yourself in a negative emotion, when you feel yourself being triggered or getting angry and reacting to something externally or even yourself, and you're noticing that you're having trouble getting out of these emotions and you're focusing too much on it and on yourself, it's really good to intentionally redirect your mind and your focus to be focused on Jesus. And do this for however long it takes you until you start to notice yourself not focusing on this emotional state or on yourself anymore. Just keep thinking in your mind about Jesus. Keep focusing on him. And also intentionally quiet your mind and your spirit. When you are able to come into this relaxed state, you can also notice the type of thoughts that are coming into your mind. And if you sort of become your own witness and just notice and pay attention to your thoughts, are they thoughts that are causing you to feel anxious? Are they thoughts not from God that are causing you to be angry and to stay angry or to be depressed? We actually have the choice and the power to allow what thoughts are coming into our mind. And if they are thoughts that are not of God and are causing you to go further down that rabbit hole of fear and anxiety, make a decision to separate yourself from these thoughts. Speak confession out loud. I release these thoughts to you, God. These are not my thoughts. I choose to release them to you now. And just by doing this over an amount of time, you will notice the peace starting to come over you and a stillness. And once you become still and peaceful and you're able to get yourself into this state, you will be able to come out of those negative emotional experiences and get the focus back on what you are doing for that day. Start to focus on positive things as well, the good that God has in store for you that day. And you know, this is a practice. You're not gonna grasp this straight away, but as long as you make that intention to redirect your focus on Jesus every time you notice yourself getting carried away in these negative emotional states, just refocus your mind onto Jesus and keep doing it until you feel a stillness within yourself and peace, that you're able to come out of that state and carry on throughout your day for the rest of your day. I hope this has helped someone and encouraged someone who is struggling with this type of issues and you're struggling to come out of these attacks over your mind.